as you guys know, I'm going through every Dragon Generations move in the entire game, and I am seeing which move is best for each saga, so that way you players, all of you know what moves to shoot for while you're playing the game. Now, it's about to get interesting as we are entering space, which is sort of the saga that I would consider things start to get interesting. Of course, newer players, those other videos are going to be amazing, but I think these moves and up can be genuinely considered for players of any level. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I do want to mention something very quickly as sort of a disclaimer. First of all, Dragon Generations, this game makes no sense. We all know this. For some reason, moves like Blue Hurricane, which you'd expect to be Namek Saga moves, are over here 2 sagas later, because you actually can't buy the move until you're level 300 plus. So that makes it a space move. So to define what I consider a space move is any move that you can get between the levels of 300, which is the level that you can actually access space at, and then level 499, which is the last level before you hit Buu Saga, therefore introducing a lot of new moves. Now, the funny thing is there's all kinds of... There's Namek level moves in this space level. Obviously, there's Future Saga moves and Space Saga moves, but there's also Buu Saga moves. So I'm going to do my best to give as much information I can about these moves, but just know the cost of these moves are going to vary between, like, costing 10 key and 20 key, as well as taking 1,000 stamina and 2,000 stamina. Insane. I also want to mention that Game Pass moves are going to get their own video, so I'm not including Game Pass moves. And I also want to mention that somebody commented talking about the PyCon mentor, which is an Otherworld mentor. I didn't even consider or completely forgot about him, but I'm going to talk about PyCon's moves in this video. Maybe I should have done it in the last video, but I forgot, and that video is already up. So we're talking about him in this video. That is a long intro, I apologize, but this is definitely the most controversial saga in the game when it comes to the moves, and like such a wide array and margin for error and whatnot. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So first, we're going to be talking about the beam category. Alright, so I can't start this category without showing you guys the Future Saga's best beams. So I'll start with Buster Cannon. So fully charged up Buster Cannon is hitting that much. Now here's my stats, of course. I am a melee build, but my stats haven't changed throughout this entire series, and I just wanted to clarify with you guys, like, I am accounting, like, I'm not really, like, comparing melee and key moves to each other. I'm showcasing the higher ends of each, if that makes sense. So I don't want anyone to fret or anything. This is still a fair comparison. If you're a key build, just expect to be doing more damage than you see here, right? So Buster Cannon, and then another end was another one. And the reason I'm showing another end as well is these moves are equal, but another end does that kind of flip move. And it's relevant for our first move, Flip Shoot. So this move actually is doing less damage, but you don't have to charge it at all. And it's kind of an evasive type move because you do that big flip at the start. And I think it's really cool and just worth mentioning. Also worth mentioning Psycho Thread, which is doing even less damage, but you don't have to charge it. And it's one of these like stun death beam type moves. And I think that definitely makes it worth mentioning. So Flip Shoot you get at level 305. And then Psycho Thread you get at 310. Funny story time moment, by the way. I was recording this video. I got halfway done before I realized I wasn't telling you guys how to get the moves, and I was going to get a billion comments about it. So, re-recording it just for you guys. So yes, 305 in the shop, and then 310 for Psycho Thread. Next up is the Pico Ray to drop Pico Drill Beam. Now, this is the highest damaging beam. As you guys can see, it takes quite a while to charge up, but the damage being 16,590 makes it pretty worth it. Darkness Wave is the best actual kind of wave move in the game. This is doing 14,313. So pretty good. And yeah, that's it for the beams category. Definitely a step up for sure from future if you're using Darkness Wave, and especially Pico Drill Beam. And there I go again, by the way. Darkness Wave, or yeah, Darkness Wave is from the Garlic Jr. mentor. Oh god, I'm tired, guys, I'm sorry. So, time to talk about blasts. Now, these first 6 blasts, I think, aren't quite as good as the next blasts I'll show. And I do think these moves are still worth mentioning because of how early on in space you get them, for one. And then it just as well as, like, they're not, you know, so bad that it's not worth mentioning them. I think they're still good. So yeah, let's start with Light Grenade. So Light Grenade, of course, is considered a future Saga move. So it's taking 15 key instead of 20 for a Space Saga move. And fully charged, it's looking 9759. Big Bang Crash is next. So this is doing the same amount, 9759. Now, Eraser Shot Volley is the next move, or before I go on, Light Grenade is level 310 requirement, and then Big Bang Crash is level 320. Eraser Shot Volley you can buy at 345, and this is the only volley I've mentioned so far. All the other volleys in the game I think suck terribly. They're inconsistent, they do terrible damage. But Eraser Shot Volley is actually keeping up with these other blasts, doing the same amount of damage. And the tracking, in my experience, isn't that bad at all. So this is like the only blast I will let slide. Death Razor at level 330 is next I want to talk about. Now this is doing less damage, a lot less. 5748 there. But it's like a explosion lock-on type move, and I think you could probably find some pretty good value out of that. And it's unique enough for me to want to mention it. Grand Smasher is actually doing even less than the previous blasts. Not Death Razor, but this move, I just really like this move. I'm mentioning it, 8945. You get this from the Bojack mentor. I just think it's a cool move. It's also pretty fast as well. So if you value that, I don't know, like, sure. And then Galactic Blow is also from Bojack, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes. And this is like close range type of Ki Blast. So if you like those, sure. Use Galactic Blow. It's the best one of that kind. I'm going to take this chance to show the best blast from Future, which actually was Power Blitz, Burning Attack, and Finish Buster all tied. I'll just use Burning Attack because that sounds cool. And these are doing tied damage, I believe. 9759, yes. Those are doing tied damage to these early ones I'm showing off. Time to get into the upper echelon of Space Saga moves. So, let's talk about these next moves now. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. No, I didn't. Okay, good. Shoot Blaster is first. This is from Zangya. So, Shoot Blaster is doing 10,409. Hunting Arrow, same thing. This is from Fasha, 10,409. Eraser Cannon, also the same thing. That's from Broly. Now, the last move, Sealed Light Beam, is also doing the same. However, it does have a slight difference in the fact that this is a stun move. So, as you can see, it is stunning him. And then this has a cost of 30 and a cooldown of 30. So it's a higher cost and a higher cooldown, but is a stun move. So that gives it a benefit. That is the blasts. Now to talk about the harder topic to talk about, which is rushes. Thank you, critical hits. So, rush moves, right? So the funny thing about rush moves is you can crit with them. Another funny thing is I actually have moves from literally every saga here, basically, other than Saiyan Saga, and then I have from Namek to literally Buu Saga moves here. So we're gonna go over them. Mach Kick is first. So Mach Kick actually scales as a Namek Saga move. So it's only taking 1,000 stamina. I think for the stamina cost, this move is pretty damn good. So this is what Mach Kick's doing. As you guys can see, crits will make the damage vary, but I've tested it thoroughly. It's doing pretty good damage even without any crits. And I think it's good for how low the stamina cost is, how fast the move is, like look at how fast this move is, and how many dang hits it does, which means it has higher chances to crit. So yeah, I really do like Mach Kick. Red Magma is next. So this is a Chase Rush that doesn't do a knockback. So if you were looking for something like that, Red Magma for 1,000 stamina I think isn't bad. Blue Hurricane's kind of the opposite, so this is just the same, but it does do a knockback. Now the only thing with Blue Hurricane is you can't vanish after it, which kind of stinks. Nova Strike is the exact same, by the way. You can't vanish after it. I'm not going to mention Nova Strike, just, you know, it feels redundant too. Or I'm not going to show it, I should say, but I did want to give it a mention. Especially considering it has the weird same weakness as Blue Hurricane. Anyway, Change the Future. So this is actually a key move. That's why this is being added. It's a rush move that takes stamina that does key damage. And the damage really isn't like that falling far behind, considering I have like 1,700 more melee damage than I do key damage. So that's why I wanted to mention Change the Future. I think it's a pretty good move. Cybernetic Pain is next. This is a pretty dang decent move for... I mean, the level is... I just realized as well I wasn't going over the levels here. So Mach Kick is 305. I apologize, guys. Red Magma is 330. Blue Hurricane is 335. Change the Future is 450. And then Cybernetic Pain is 425. So let's go ahead and show that move. So yeah, pretty good. Just normal little combo. And then the thing is Revenge Demon, I think is just a lot better. Revenge, or sorry, we're not at Revenge Demon yet. We're at Blazing Rush. Blazing Rush is the same move as Cybernetic Pain. So yeah, that's basically the same move. Same stats and everything. Let's talk about Revenge Demon. So this move is just, it's doing quite a lot of damage. For the 4 hits it does quite a lot of damage there. Final Cannon. So, Final Cannon is a 2,000 stamina cost move, which means it's Boo Saga. Revenge Demon is a Space Saga move, so this is doing less. Funnily enough, Revenge Demon doing slightly more damage than Final Cannon, with no crits, which is funny. But Final Cannon does do more hits, so I guess that's the trade-off. You could get more crits. Next is Videl Kick, which of course is a 2,000 move, or a 2,000 stamina move. Now Videl Kick is a just a normal little like chase rush here, but you can vanish after it. So it's more stamina for sure, a lot more, but it's a pretty reliable move, you know. Pretty quick, you know, good damage, stuff like that. And then after that, we're gonna talk about Hysteric Rush. So this is a very, very good move. This scales to space. So, Videl Kick, you get at level 490, by the way. Final Cannon is 485, and Revenge Demon is 465. Blazing Rush is 435. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not in it today, man. I guess I've had a rough couple of days. Hysteric Rush. I like this move. It's very fast, it does a lot of hits, it does good damage, and you get that one from Fasha. So, I think the rush moves in this saga are pretty damn good. If I go back to Future, Perfect Combination was the best one, and I don't think this one really competes, right? Not with too many of these moves. Yeah, a lot of these moves are just far better than Perfect Combination, as you guys can see. So yeah, that is the rushes section. I'm gonna actually talk about counters while I'm here. The funny thing about the counters in space is they all actually suck. I'm gonna recommend you guys use Rapid Charge counter, or even Got You from Captain Ginyu. Hachiyak gives Rapid Charge counter, the Hachiyak raid in Future. Those are just better counters. And then if you're a key user, I mean, Gallic Burst is the tried and true, right? That's a really good counter. Which you get from the Vegeta mentor and all the way back on Earth. Still a very good counter to this level, right? So yeah, that's about it for that. Now let's talk about evasives. So the only 2 evasives that I found that were worth anything were the Blaster Meteor evasive, which you get from the Broly mentor. Now, this move is very inaccurate, and it does take 2.5 defense bars, so I really don't recommend using it. But It's doing, like, damage, you know, like, for an evasive, like, maybe cool, yeah. But the thing is it's very, like, inconsistent. So, like, if I'm farther away, it's going to be doing a lot less damage. So, I just wanted to mention it. I think it's a cool evasive, but I don't really recommend using it too well. And then Psycho Barrier, this is another one of these AoE Ki Blast type moves. It's doing, like, okay damage, but honestly, how is the evasives? Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. It's doing more damage than the future Saga ones, but for the 2 defense bars that's taking, like, I don't know, man. I would prefer an evasive that's taking, like, the least amount possible. Something like After Image, right? That's my favorite evasive. So yeah, let's talk about ultimates now. So for the ultimates, I'm going to start with Chaotic Dead End. Now, this move you are actually getting on the tail end of your journey in space, level 475. But I do want to mention it still. I think it's a cool ultimate, and it's doing pretty good damage. 13,941 there. So I do like it. I think it's doing decent damage, good enough to mention. Thunder Flash is doing the same amount of damage as well. So this is from the PyCon Mentor. I want to mention Hell Zone Grenade. Hell Zone Grenade is a move that you can buy at level 490. And I think it's doing less damage than these other ultimates, but the tracking it may have might be worth it. I really haven't tested it too much, but just worth to mention, right? Victory Rush. So this move is quite good, especially in PvP. This move has seen a lot of play in PvP. It kind of lets you just teleport to them at any range as long as you're locked on. And the damage it's doing is 10 to 20k, for me at least, depending on how many hits depending on how many crits I'm getting. And the teleport, like I said, the teleport is really nice. So yeah, that's Victory Rush. Next, I'm going to talk about Space Mock Attack. And I'm also going to talk about Final Revenger. So, Space Mock Attack, this move you're getting at level... oh, by the way, Victory Rush is level 300 in the shop, according to this. I don't know if it got changed due to the new update, because Victory Rush got taken out for a long time, and it recently got added back, so I don't know if it scales higher level now or what. So maybe this is inaccurate as heck. Let me know in the comments. But supposedly Victory Rush is level 300. Might be higher now, though. I'm not sure. Space Mock Attack, though, is level 335. This move just does a bunch of hits. And so, depending on how many crits you get, I got lucky there. This move can do 20 to 30k damage and even more. If you're getting a lot of crits. And that's, again, the damage number is for me, right? I'm only mentioning this because it's doing more damage than the rest of the ultimates in the saga, right? Final Revenger. So this, I believe, is the best ultimate in the game as of this moment. Like, before Boo Saga, right? Because in the video series so far, Final Revenger, I believe this is the strongest ultimate I've covered so far. So this one is from Bardock. The Bardock Mentor gives that, and as you see, it did amazing damage as compared to everything else so far. And then Burning Shoot is the last move I want to talk about. So this is from the PyCon Mentor. Burning Shoot does decent damage, and it's one of these like lock-on rushes. So as you guys see, it's doing almost 21k, and it's one of those like quick chase rush moves you can be locked on for, and just like kind of brings you to them, right? So for that reason, I think it's worth mentioning. That's gonna be it, actually, for the space tutorial. I don't think I've missed anything too much, and I did my best to explain where everything was. If I missed something, or you just didn't quite catch it, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll do my best to get to everybody who has any questions. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. These are, in my opinion, the best moves for space. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Let me know if this helped you. Thank you for all the support and all that. And have a good one, guys.